What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Natsume Yuujinchou, this time with episode 12, I believe. Penultimate episode of the first season, which, yeah, absolutely blasted through. Last episode was fantastic. Seeing, which one was the last one? Oh, it was the Neko cat. Nyanko Sensei, that's one. Neko. Sorry, that's just the name for a cat, I think, isn't it? Nyanko Sensei's little tantrum. Getting disrespected a little bit, although he was more so very disrespectful himself, and he kind of warranted a lot of that. But still felt bad for the guy. Met a cute little girl at the end of the episode, of course, but yeah, obviously ended up returning. Got replaced for a little bit as well, of course. But yeah, I thought last episode was hilarious, and hopefully we'll get more Nyanko Sensei focused episodes in the future as well. But yeah, this one I think is covering that kind of ox bull kind of yokai, as well as the kind of pretty blue-haired lady, I think, that we see in the opening. Yeah, do let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Leave a like on the video if you guys do like. Here she comes, I think. And subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. Yeah, this woman here. I think we see her in the preview. I really wouldn't be mad if this was the opening for all 7 seasons, to be honest. But I don't think it will be. Yeah, why? I don't know why you'd bring that stuff with a couple other guys around. Bit weird, actually. Sandwichy. 5-day mark. Oh yeah, this was the one that was I was comparing to Ringu. On the topic of Japanese movies, I watched Ichi the Killer a couple of days ago, which I thought was really good. Very strange, of course, really strange. But I liked it. I liked the gore. I wasn't that big a fan of the kind of CGI effects, but they had their own kind of charm, funnily enough. Man, I've never seen a frog stuck in a spiderweb before. Interesting. Oh shit, he's eating a yokai. Good day, Adam. That was pretty horrible, wasn't it? Just chewing on some yokai. But yeah, what I was kind of unexpected. I thought Ichi would be the guy on the cover of the movie, but he's not. Oh shit. So this is the mark he's been given from that yokai. Oh no? Didn't know that. There's a lot of things animals, cats and dogs can't eat that you wouldn't think. So Chibi Neko Sensei. Ah yeah, you know what? It's actually quite good for Yanko. He gets to eat more. I mean, he's eating the same amount essentially, but because his body's so much smaller. That's an interesting thought, to be honest. Humans were 2 feet smaller in general. Our consumption rate would surely go down quite a lot, right? I'd like to see how that world would play out. I've also never understood that. That's the thing from like Attack on Titan and such. I've always thought if I try to bite myself to cut myself, I don't think I'd be able to do it. Maybe if I was like super desperate, I don't know. So yeah, this is the guy we did see before. I thought it was. That doesn't go too well. Fuck the cat. That's a giant ass rocking horse. So that's the woman that we see, I imagine. Okay. George does look like the type of woman that could remove curse marks. It's an odd thing to say about someone, but it's oddly true. Touchy woman. You got no boobs. Yeah, I mean, again, Natsume's not the most masculine guy, so I don't think she'll have too much trouble with him. Ah, so he can't actually. Interesting. No, he's a sitting target, which is good. Nice. What is it then? The fuck? That's the odd thing about this now, isn't it? Anyone opens that, there's nothing there. Looks like one of those like is it tubing kids that kind of like wrap themselves up and make themselves look cool for no reason. It would look like one of those. Obviously, again, we know there's something there, but normal people, I imagine, won't be able to see it. So what the fuck is this thing? If it's not a oh, is this what they were talking about with the whole kind of weakness? So this is so this is this is a lot like The Ring. And again, I watched One Missed Call not too long ago. It's a little bit like that as well. Huh. In One Missed Call, I think they, if you got called, that was, you were just dead. You didn't like instantly die, but I think it was like a haunting of. Again, I can't exactly remember it fully. It was a while ago now, but if you were like in the person's like phone book saved as like a contact, you had a big risk of being called, and if you were called, you were pretty much assured to die. So I remember there being a scene of like a bunch of school kids like all not wanting to get involved with the people whose like whole friendship base kind of like ended up dying. They're like, yeah, nah, fuck off. Take me out of your phone. They're all like begging to take them out of someone's phone book and such. I remember that scene. Yeah, it's a little bit like that. Maybe both The Ring and One Missed Call are kind of based on this Japanese kind of folk tale, perhaps, of again, some kind of infected kind of social disease of sorts, of like, again, getting contacted by a person, and that contact actually being kind of a curse placed on you that spreads. That's quite a common kind of theme for like horror movies and such nowadays. I think you see it in like the Smile movies, Truth or Dare, which is similar to Smile but just 100 times worse. So yeah, they all seem, all of those things that I just mentioned seem to be kind of loosely based upon this kind of Japanese kind of tale. Interesting. So, mate, like I always love seeing. I saw a post about it on Twitter yesterday about, I love seeing where like the origin of memes come from. Again, I'm playing Metal Gear Solid quite a lot, and I'm seeing and hearing quite a lot of stuff from what I've seen over my time on media in those games. But I love seeing like the origin of things I love. Like, I'm a massive fan of horror movies, so I love hearing more about the origin of where a lot of those things came from. I'm a massive fan of ideas like that, to be honest with you, like a viral spread kind of curse and such. And I don't think it's ever. Again, I haven't seen the Japanese Ringu. I need to watch it, but I've never seen like in American and English kind of cinema. I've never seen like it done amazingly well. I've seen it done well, but it's just such an awesome concept. I think they could do more than what I've seen from it. Eri-san.
メリーさん、今門の前にいるのって。しばらくするとまた電話が鳴る。出てみると、私メリーさん、今玄関の前にいるの。この朝と何か関係があるのか。
I imagine so.
どうしよう。
玲子と同じ顔なのにしけた面をお見せでないよ。
日の絵。
印主の正体が分かったよ。長年封印されてる強力な邪気だ。印を使って獲物を狩り、じわじわと力を蓄えて、どうやらあと一人食えば封印が解けるようだ。
あと一人って
One more.
俺のことか。
ああ。そして力を取り戻しつつある邪気は、待ちきれずに影を飛ばしてきた。影はお前の印から正気を吸い取ってどんどん動きが速くなる。
Okay.
今はまだのろまで、やっと家を探り当てたところだけどね。
That's just kind of sucking him.
あいつに触れられたら死ぬよ。
And that reminds me a little bit of It Follows, which is a movie I love. Where it's like, it's actually quite slow moving. Oh, what the fuck's happening? Yo, I love the voice acting changes in Yanko Sensei with all these transformations. But yeah, it's kind of reminds me of like again like It Follows, where there's actually it's like a slow moving kind of creature, but eventually it'll kind of catch up with you, like slow moving shadow thing. Okay, that would be handy. But yeah, it's a lot like It Follows in that regard. Just need to stay away from it. But again, it's actually much easier said than done. They're making a sequel to that movie if you guys are fans of that movie, by the way. And hopefully it'll come out soon. I love that movie so much because it came out during a period where there wasn't too many great horror movies coming out. And that almost started like a bit of a revitalization. Can you imagine if you wake up and it's like round the corner and you just accidentally like bump into it? It's that easy. International. 3 days is a long time to be staying at a friend's house, though. Well, that wasn't awfully convincing, was it? Wow, it's really taking its toll on him. Yo, I really love this yokai's hair. These pins in the back of it and stuff. Back down he goes. I do prefer this small version. Oh, that sounds like... Well, why didn't you tell us about that sooner? I guess because she does kind of remind me. Again, I'm not sure about this, but she does. I say I really like the hair and such. From her kind of like dress. I'm not sure if this is the case, but she kind of looks like someone you might see in Yoshiwara, Kabukicho, one of the two, I don't know, but like the Pleasure District or something like that. She kind of looks like someone that might work within that kind of industry. She looks quite yeah, she gives me a similar feeling to like an Oiran or like one of those kind of heralded escorts. Again, I could be totally wrong on that, but she looks really pretty. She looks really well dressed up and such. Not quite as, to be fair, I've never seen them be majorly revealing or anything, to be honest, actually. But yeah, she looks very beautiful, and she looks like she could be from that kind of lineage or something. Again, I'm not really sure. Looks fancy. That's maybe what I'm trying to say here, and that would maybe go with why she hates men, perhaps. I don't know. Again, that's me just kind of assuming things here. If any of you guys have any input, please help me out with that. But like I've seen kind of similar hairpins and such on figures from that kind of area and such. I'm not awfully well versed and stuff like that, but I've seen it a few times in anime.
辛いようだ。本番前に少し休め、夏目。
Kind of just living out in the wild for a few days.
帰りたい。家へ。
Like I said, this thing might be slow, but it's inevitable. No, it's not that slow. Oh, classic. Classic. You can't touch him, Yanko. That is still the shadow. Ah. Your little bird. Little chick. No, we don't know if it's weak yet. It looks weak, but yeah, you know, I'm kind of feeling one of those ones that look super weak, but it's actually like super powerful. Nice. Yeah, get fucked. Kozo. You little chick. And Sensei's back to normal. No mark. Nice. 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 Okay. It's a shame you didn't get to say like thanks to the little chick.
よくないよ。お前を見ていて思ったよ。大事なものを守りたいとか、迷惑をかけたくないとか。そんな気持ちばっかりだ。自分を大切にできない奴は大嫌いだよ。
You know what? That was something I really struggled with. I don't want to go too deep on that topic. I've mentioned it a lot in my Nana videos, but I always really struggled to actually treasure myself and look after myself, to be honest with you. Yeah, just I always gave more thought about other people, and even like toward myself, making myself maybe seem more attractive, not in the traditional sense, but yeah, attractive to other people rather than actually looking out for what my best interests and such were. And again, that's why that's why I like anime and like a lot of Japanese things, because I relate quite a lot to the culture and stuff like this. Again, I didn't, and obviously I didn't watch the Japanese anime and such before I became an adult, and probably for good reason, because again, I was kind of a totally different kind of person. But yeah, I always relate quite a lot to. I relate a lot to this show and the characters in this show in general. But that is one thing I've learned being an adult is it is okay to be selfish and to look out for yourself and to look out for your best interest and not do stuff to help other people if that means it detriments you. Like, yes, help other people. You can help other people if it does detriment you if you want to, yeah, for sure. But or don't do anything that would like majorly kind of hurt you if that means that you get to help someone else out a little. I'm not really wording that greatly, but yeah, just like look out for yourself every once in a while. Lesson. Obviously, Natsume is 1953. Apologies, guys. Yeah, Natsume is very much an extreme of that, to be honest. Very much more extreme than I ever was, for sure. But again, I definitely relate to that, especially my my older self. It's like, oh, I was always going to meet my friends and hang out with my friends and such, and going to support them. But then I sat back one day. I was like, huh, I always do all this, but when I kind of sort stuff out and want help, I don't really get too much of it in return. I was just like, oh, okay. Maybe it isn't actually worth it to be so supportive and such. I don't know. I sometimes think about thinking like that and think it's pretty obnoxious of me to think like that as well. I don't know. Unfit. Okay, nice. Looks like we impressed him. And we got on her good side as well. Wow, she's pissed. For good reason. Yeah, she really cares a lot. This is the most emotional of her though. But yeah, I also agree with the sentiment. Like, again, this is pretty hypocritical, but I don't like it when I see someone be a bit too kind of self-sacrificing. And again, that's probably why Code Geass is also one of my favorite anime. Like, I've always kind of related a lot to that kind of self-sacrificial. Like, even when I play sports, I feel like I play quite a self-sacrificial role of. I really like setting people up. Like, I'd much prefer someone like setting someone up for a goal, or like setting up a play before like a goal or something, rather than the one actually being like scoring it. I much prefer, again, just like helping people achieve something rather than achieving something myself, perhaps. But again, when I see other people do that, I do think, why don't you go for it a little bit? And again, that's quite hypocritical because I don't, if you know what I'm saying. It's like, why don't you give it a go? Why don't you try and go for the glory and such? And yeah, it's quite hypocritical in the way I thought there. But like I said, I think that relates quite a bit to Natsume, especially here, doesn't it? Yeah, nice end there. Yeah, I think the Ox guy said he was the one that set this up. So he could get his hands on the Book of Friends, but ended up being surprisingly impressed, which is good to hear. And now we've got 2 quite good comrades from the Book of Friends that we can call upon if needed. I think the woman there will be especially handy in the future, probably. Okay, next time. Oh shit, everyone's coming back. Let's go. Oh, look at this. Awesome. Fucking hell, let's go. Autumn Banquet. Man, look how many returning characters are there. Will there be even more than this? Let's just have a little watch that again. So there's the friend from school. I definitely recognise the mask, but I forget who the actual yokai is behind this. The fox girl, of course. The glasses girl. The actor. Hey, awesome. Looks like the next episode is going to be a banger. It is the last episode of the season, so yeah, looks like we're bringing everyone back. Well, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people back from the series, which is awesome. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, hopefully I brought up some interesting points there. Again, I quite relate to quite a bit of what we saw today. Obviously, I haven't been cursed for 5 days or anything, but again, I really enjoy seeing the origins of a lot of like media. I feel like a lot in anime, especially like classic anime, like this is 2000s, but like 2000s, 90s, 80s, like this era of stuff, like I see a lot of where things I love from like the 2010s and 2000s, like things I loved during that period I grew up in, I see where a lot of the inspiration from that came from now that I'm kind of watching anime and such, which is really awesome. And again, a lot of like horror movies, like this kind of premise seemed to have inspired maybe like 10 movies I've seen, and just like, yeah, it's really awesome actually getting to know more about that. Yeah, awesome that we won Inoue, I think her name is, won her over, which seemed to be a pretty hard task with her hate for men. Again, kind of reminds me a little bit of the name from Gintama. Yeah, I've seen a few characters with a kind of similar disposition to her, which is interesting. But yeah, quite liked her. She was awesome today. I quite like the kind of ox, kind of cow spirit guy here as well. Given Natsume a little test. That's also something I was quite guilty of. That was a kind of negative trait of mine, to be honest with you, where I'd do these little tests of like friendship and such. I think that kind of went along with my kind of wanting to be kind of supportive and sacrificial perhaps, but I used to do these. Again, it wasn't anything like consciously. I wouldn't like consciously do it, but looking back, I did do these like tests of friendship where if someone like, because I'd like to support them, and I'd always try and be quite sacrificial, where I'd do something to see if that was kind of worth being like that, see if they would like help me. And again, a lot of the times when I did do stuff like that, it kind of ended up in a negative result for me. Maybe because my intentions were kind of again, I look back and I think that was actually a bad thing to do to people, to test them like that. So maybe again it was just karma. But yeah, more often than not, I actually got kind of negative results and stuff like that, which again made me kind of leave. I've always been quite good at like leaving friendships and stuff. I've always been quite good at not ghosting per se, but yeah, in essence, kind of ghosting. So yeah, maybe a lot of stuff that you can look on back on stuff like that and just like figure out psychologically what was going on. Yeah, that was a negative kind of part of my life like that, I guess. Yeah, a lot of relatable stuff. Like the storyline here, obviously wasn't as emotional as a lot of the episodes this season, but really cool storyline, like I said, with the curse and such, and very much excited to see next week's finale. Let me know what you guys thought about this one down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys would like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. And I'll see you guys next time with episode 13, the final episode of season 1.